Hello, my name is Edna Logan. I am a B&G worker at Manuarts High School here in Los Angeles. I have worked with LA Unified School District for approximately 35 years. I haven't worked as a B&G that entire time. I was a playground supervisor. I was a traveling supervisor through the West Youth Services after school program. I was a teacher assistant. I worked as an athletic coach for the program. And now I am a B&G worker.
And why did you decide to work in education?
Prior to coming to LAUSD, I taught in daycare centers, a few here in LA area. I was a preschool teacher and a music teacher. And so I've worked with children pretty much most of my life, most of my teenage and adult life. I've worked with children. And even in my church community, teaching Sunday school. I've always had a knack for and enjoyed working with children and young people.
What has been most rewarding about your work with LAUSD?
I'm a people person, so I enjoy interacting and working with people. As a steward, I enjoy working with my coworkers and helping them to problem solve, engaging with them with situations that sometimes on the workforce brings difficulties, brings challenges. Sometimes I have to work as a liaison between them and between administration. And I've been a person that always liked to help. So I feel that's one of my gifts in trying to problem solve and help people find solutions to make their working environment a better place to be.
And how long have you been a member of Local 99, and what led you to become a member?
I have been a member of Local 99 before even knowing. I became aware and engaged with Local 99 in 2004. Vince Gill, who was part of the staff at the time, was coming to Gratz Elementary School where I started working. And he was talking to my coworkers and I the importance of being a part of the union, what the union was trying to accomplish, trying to help our working conditions, and even back then. And he encouraged me to come to meetings and to be a part. I remember him saying, Miss Edna, the union needs someone like you to be a part and to help our cause. And through his encouragement, I became engaged with meeting people, getting to even know you, Blanca, and the staff and others. Eddie was our director at the time, and as I got to become more involved and more knowledgeable of what the union was trying to do, and I just joined the family and became a part of being a part of the Local 99 family, which I'm very happy to be a part of.
We'll switch over talking a little bit about the strike at LAUSD that happened last year. Well, just share with me your thoughts and experiences about the strike at LAUSD.
When we had our strike for LAUSD, that was my first experience being a part of a strike for classified. Years ago, as a teacher assistant, back in the 80s when the teachers went on strike, I was on the other side of it. I helped with the children, and I was a playground supervisor, a teacher assistant. And so I basically took care of my class while the teachers were outside supporting their cause. But in our strike this time, it was an experience most memorable because we came together on one accord. It's a true saying, where there's unity, there's strength. And the importance of our strike was to let the powers that be, was to let our superintendent and staff know. It is just like an old saying in the South, enough is enough, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And so when we came together and we were unified, you could say the ice cream scoop on top of the cake was when UTLA joined us. And together we became a mighty force. And that's what happened. And the news went across the country. I'm hearing about it from other parts. Even now, remembering what we did. We did something that was monumental. We did something that people didn't expect. We did something that reminded people of what people did in the South and people did back east when they wanted rights and when they knew they were being mistreated. Why was the union formed? Because one custodian, one janitor said enough is enough. And he got tired of being mistreated, from having to clean an entire building, which he knew was unfair. And so today, we came together. And because we came together, history was made and progress was done. And those that are coming behind us will benefit because of what we did. And I'm very proud to be a part of that.
When you mentioned, enough is enough, people were tired and that's why they went on strike. What were some of those conditions or issues or problems that workers were facing that just pushed them to finally strike?
Some of those conditions are yet going on. We still have battles we have to win. I'm hearing just the other day situations where administrators are trying to force staff members, classified members, to work out of compliance, telling them to do work that they need additional training for, to get extra pay. Oh, but you just do it. Changing their classification from one thing to another thing without notice. We were fighting for better pay because the cost of living is up. I was telling someone the other day, I remember when I could fill my tank on $10 of gas. Oh, I long for those days. Wouldn't we all long for those days? When things were easier to be purchased and the economy was at a point where things were more affordable and your dollar went further. And when you bought something, you got your money's worth. People felt more fairly treated. We fought for fair hours. Some of our people are only working a few hours and they can't support themselves on that. But the workload is longer. So what the district wants to do, they want to pay you for 3 hours or 4 hours to do 5 and 6 hours worth of work and say, oh, you got to get it done. And we know that that's not fair. We had to fight for people who were told, clock out and then go finish your work. One example, the bus riders. Some of them were told, and I know a specific school site where they were told, you sign out now, then you go walk your students to the bus. No. When your work is done, that's when you should sign out. The district would cut hours so that people couldn't get benefits. That is unfair. An example, you're supposed to work at least 3 hours to get medical, to be able to get dental, vision, eye care. An employee was cut from 3 hours to 2 hours and 55 minutes just because administration said, oh, we have budget issues, and so we'll have to make adjustments. And those 5 minutes would cause that member to lose all their benefits. Now, how fair is that? 5 minutes. Tell me how much work you get done in 5 minutes. We had to make sure people were treated fairly by administrators and supervisors who were talked to disrespectfully. And that sometimes is still ongoing. When you come to a job and you come to do work, and we all have a livelihood, that's why we're here. We all have responsibilities. I tell people all the time, if I didn't make bills, it wouldn't make sense for me to go to work. But we all have to support ourselves. We have responsibilities. And I shouldn't have to come to work for you to talk to me like I'm walking around on all fours, to put me down, to make me feel less than, or to lock the restrooms and say, you have to ask me when you want to go. We're dealing with those issues, and we dealt with those. I don't know how much time you have, but we've had different scenarios where enough is enough. People deserve to be treated fairly. People deserve to be respected. People deserve to be valued. I have said this before, and I say again, I'm a B&G and I'm proud of the work that I do. Oftentimes I go to the classroom or I go to the office. They don't see me. They may not know who I am. But they need me. I need them. And we all need the children. And we need to all do our part to make sure that we achieve the greatest goal, and that's providing our children with the best possible learning environment and experience that we can give them.
So going back a little bit to, your memories of the strike, how did you talk to your coworkers? We know there were a lot of folks who were afraid or undecided or not sure. What did you say to your coworkers who maybe were hesitating to go on strike?
I reminded them about the greater good. Sometimes we have to put a sacrifice. I talk to people who says, oh, I can't afford one day. Oh, Miss Edna, Miss Logan, I said, but if we don't stand together, we won't learn, we won't benefit, and we won't achieve for the greater good. Think about the people in the bus boycott down south. Might have been one or two that crossed the line, but for the most part, they refused to ride that bus because of the mistreatment and because they unified and they caused the bus company to go broke. That's when everybody could ride the bus in an equal seat. And today they're still doing it. But it wouldn't have happened if some people didn't say, I'm going to walk, I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to do out of the normal for the greater good. So I said, think about, yes, we'll all lose a little money, but think about the greater good, what we'll win in the end. And a lot of people who did not participate in the strike, and some did, they found out that they benefited from the others and the rest of us that did sacrifice. You're always going to see those. That happens. But that's what I told them. I says, we pulled together. Teachers pulled together. At Manual, we're meeting in the morning. Teachers were right there with us, with their shirts on, carrying the banners, carrying the signs. On the Friday, the Friday of the strike, when we were close to reaching our decision, they brought a barbecue pit, and they brought meat, and they brought snacks and chips and salads, and made it a celebration even before the decision was made, because we felt like we were making progress. We felt like victory was on the way. Yes, one or two or three crossed the line, but they benefited because of the greater good. I'm hoping and praying we don't have to do that again, but it opened a lot of eyes, including our superintendent, who made the statement and thought it would never happen, what unity will do when we all pull together.
You started describing a little bit about, where you were during the strike. Can you share more? Just paint a picture about your experience of the strike. What time were you out in the picket lines? What did you do? What was happening?
When the strike hit, we were getting up. 6 o'clock in the morning, we were coming together. Leading up to it, when they knew the strike was going to take place, I talked to our classified staff at Manual, because I'm the steward there. We had a call meeting, pulled them together, let them know what was going on. We had the signs ready. We had the banners ready. We were coming in the morning with juice, coffee, and donuts. Sometimes the teachers brought it, sometimes we did. And then our Local 99 staff, they were coming to bring support as well. They were going to different school sites. Not only did I participate at Manual at my home school, and I'm sorry I can't remember the other name of the school sites, but there were times when we met at other sites. They pulled me and pulled others to carry signs and to give support and to rally the encouragement even from our parents. I'm thankful that we were united I was seeing SCIU members coming from the valley, coming from different areas, pulling together. Retirees were meeting us because they knew the importance and they knew what we were trying to achieve. It was an experience where people that normally wouldn't pull together came together. We made connections. We were diversified, which is what we are. And it didn't matter what area you came from. We came together on that common goal at all of our sites. If there was a problem, we were only a phone call away. I worked at other school sites where there isn't an active steward, and I'll get phone calls from time to time with a need or need some information. Send what can I do? I'm having this kind of issue, even from schools I used to work at. But that's what we do. Think about your family. You don't just help the people in your house. If you're a family, you reach out to those and those reach out to you. That might be in another area, might be in another city, might be in another state, but you're still family. We call each other brother and sister because we truly are. And I'm so thankful. That showed not only the superintendent and the staff, but it showed people across the country what unification will really do if you sacrifice and pull it together. We started a little domino effect. Other areas saw what LA Unified did. we were hearing about other strikes and other pickets standing because of what we did, what some thought would never happen, but what we did. And so proud to be a part of that history.
And while you were out there on the strike line, what were you feeling? What were your feelings as you were out there picketing and talking to your coworkers and teachers?
As I was on the picket line, whether at Manual, whether in the school site, sometimes I had the microphone and I was leading the chant, or I was supporting the chant. What I was actually feeling was, I'm a part of something I felt that was so needed and so important. And that made me feel good. We were at the common cause. The teachers, UTLA, and classified staff, we were all on one accord. What I really felt was a strong unity presence. And I did something they thought wouldn't happen at my site. 4 of our administrators at different times came out, carried signs, and joined our cause. Oh no, you won't get them to come out, Miss Edna. Oh no, I says, watch me, watch me. And the administrators came out, marched with us, carried the sign for whatever time span they did. So what I was feeling, a strong sense of unity and pride, being a part of a common cause for the greater good.
So you also had the perspective of being on the bargaining team. So, as the picket lines were going on there, the bargaining team also came together, through Mayor Bass, who brought the two sides together. Can you share a little bit more about that, what happened and what was going on behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't see?
I so proud to be able to call her Madam Mayor Karen Bass. She was so instrumental in helping us come to this decision. She had met with us before the strike hit because of our concerns. She opened up City Hall for us. There were times I left the strike lines to go straight to City Hall. Got a call, bargaining team, we got to go to City Hall. My car knew how to drive to City Hall when I was half paying attention. She, and I give her all props, Madam Karen Bass, Madam Mayor Karen Bass, she opened the doors for us to be able to come to a settlement. She says, I'm not going to sleep until this thing is settled. And when she said that, that really touched my heart, because that let me know she was taking our cause to heart. She knew how serious it was. Too many of our members were struggling, taking other jobs. We had a union sister who said when her daughter went to sleep, she went to the alleys behind her home at night to go through the trash bins to see what recycle she could pick up to help supplement her money. How serious is that? And then to work all day helping and teaching our children. And then she's got to go through and find recycle at night just to supplement her money. And that's just one of many stories where we had members that were struggling because of the low pay and because of the working conditions. So when Mayor Bass opened up City Hall, we were going there and we were able to come to an agreement. We never met in the same room with our superintendent, Superintendent Cavaro, and the staff. She was the go-between, coming to us, taking information, going to them, taking information, coming back to us, taking information, going to him, taking information. Because of the strain and because of the difficulty in trying to work with them at the beginning. I'm so thankful that when the agreement came through and we reached a settlement where we could be happy and live with, we got to tweak a few things still, but we considered it a win because the greater good was accomplished. Mayor Karen Bass was responsible for us being able to bring that, and I'm so grateful that she stepped in to do that. She's a fighter herself, and I'm thankful that she fought for us to be able to come together and do it. I know at the conference when Superintendent Cavaro and our director Max Reyes came together to talk to the media, Superintendent Cavaro took credit for some things, but we know it's because Mayor Karen Bass opened up those doors. And again, she says, I'm not going to sleep. And she made sure we were able to settle and we were able to come to an agreement that weekend so we could go back to work the next week.
So it was a historic agreement. What are some of the things that you're most proud of that you were able to win in that contract?
We were able to win. One of the big things was our wage increase, 30%. That was monumental. That had never happened before. We were able to make working conditions better for a lot of our staff members. Our members that weren't getting benefits prior to that were able to get their medical and their dental and their vision, hearing, those benefits for themselves and for their families. And we also put in place and reinforced our employees are not going to and will not do work that is out of compliance and that they're not being paid to do. We were able to put trainings in place for people, making sure that those trainings are available for people that want to promote, people that want to elevate themselves. And we encourage that on all levels. And we still have a few more battles to win. But you know, when you're coming off of a victory, you're encouraged. He says, you know what? We can do this because we've done it before. And we're in negotiations now, and I believe that we will accomplish our goals again, because again, we don't want to just make things better for ourselves now, but we got to think about the ones coming behind us. We got to think about our families. We got to think about future employees that apply for LA Unified jobs, classified jobs, will benefit because of what we've already done and what we'll continue to do.
The strike was also a lot about respect. Do you think that the district now sees Local 99 members differently after the strike, dealing with all these ongoing issues? Of course, not everything was resolved, but do you think the district sees members differently?
Respect, dignity on the job are vital, very important when you're coming to work. Using the restroom It's not a privilege, it's a right. You should be able to have access to use a restroom. Who goes to a job and don't know if they can use the restroom or not? Or ask permission to somebody? Or go to the restroom and somebody, well, what are you doing over here? The district knows because of the message that we sent. But that is still an ongoing issue. As I speak to you now, there are situations that have to be dealt with at some of our sites where people feel like they're not being treated fairly. They're not being respected in conversation and in attitude. But I believe the district on the whole, Superintendent Cavarro and his staff, along with the others, they got the message. They got the message, and I believe they know. And that will be ongoing because we're human. Some people come into a position or they feel like they're overworked or they feel like they're not treated fairly, so why should I treat you fairly? We're dealing with that. But we know how to deal with it. That's the good thing. This strike and the preparation for it and the aftermath after it, we've learned a lot. It's been an eye-opener. It's been an educational experience. And it will help us in our negotiations now, the lessons that we learned, and the future negotiations. I will talk to you respectfully. I will not lower myself because you did. I knew that already, but that emphasized that even in the strike. We have to treat each other the way that we want to be treated.
How did the winds of the strike impact you personally? You mentioned the 30% increase and other things. How did that impact you or affect your life?
A raise will help me just like anybody else. 30% is definitely a help. It helps the dollar go further, gives you more to work with. I am a widow, living on my own, but it helped me because I'm able to do more, not only for myself, but for someone else. It also helps me in knowing that my brother and my sister, who was struggling before, don't have to struggle as hard now. It helped me knowing that that sister who was going into the trash bins, digging for extra recycle, just to make ends meet, be able to say, I don't have to do that anymore. It helped me knowing that across the district, even the ones that didn't fight with us, everybody was elevated. Everybody was helped. Those of us that still had benefits, our benefits continued. But knowing that my coworkers who weren't able to go to the doctor and the dentist and the ophthalmologist and things before are able to go now, of course that helped me. Because when the family is helped, we're all helped together.
Is there anything else you would like to add that I haven't asked you?
My hope and my prayer is that we are taken seriously from the district, from our superintendent, as we move forward in our negotiations even now and in the future. I hope the lessons that they learned was what will happen when unity is brought together full force for a common goal. I hope that my brothers and sisters who didn't join us the last time will know that we need to come together, not just for a strike or rally, but we need to come together to support and help one another across the board. It's just like when the body hurts if the left arm is sore. But if the left arm is feeling okay, then the body's good. So I am thankful, very proud to be a part of the local SEIU Local 99 family. And I'm very thankful that I was a part of this moment, and I was a part of that very vital part of history that will help future generations of employees, future generations of children. I know I haven't talked about the children as much, but our strike and our agreement helped them to be able to get better services. They were able to benefit from our strike as well. The downside is they couldn't come to school, but the upside is services they didn't get before, especially in special needs and special ed, and all those services were put in place that was so vitally needed before. So everybody wins when we all come together. When we fight, we win. Thank you.